All right, so tonight's program, 2014, brand new year, brand new plan. We're going to kind of lay out the groundwork for what we're going to do for the Memphis Investors Group. We're going to do something a little different tonight. You're going to hear a lot from me. You're also going to hear from some local experts. People who have been a part of MIG for a long time. Real estate investors who are in the trenches every day doing deals and out there making a lot of money, also making a lot of mistakes. You're going to hear from them what they've done well, and what some of the things that they've done that you can learn from that will make you a more successful investor. Before we get going, a little housekeeping. Cell phones and pagers, please turn them off or turn them on vibrate. We do have a door prize tonight, so be sure you get your raffle tickets. Also, yellow comment cards, they're on your seat. You see them when you sit down? There's a cell phone right there. Case in point. So yellow comment cards, we want your feedback. Please fill out the comment cards. I guarantee you I'm probably going to say something controversial tonight and offensive. If I don't, I'm going to be real disappointed. So please fill it out. It's by far the most entertaining thing that we cover in our board meetings. All right, visitors. Do we have any first-time visitors here tonight? Please raise your hands. Welcome. Welcome to MIG. If you have any questions about how to get started with MIG, you can see one of our representatives in the back, or you can see me after this meeting. We're glad you're here. This is the place to be if you want to learn more about real estate investing in Memphis. Now, before we get started, we always do this slide. Buyer beware, caveat emptor. Basically, the following presentation is for educational purposes only, and we always recommend that you seek the advice of your attorney or legal professional regarding your financial circumstances. Remember that tonight's talk is for informational purposes only. The opinions, materials, content, and concepts presented in today's program are solely those of the speaker and speakers, and although I think my opinions are foolproof, you might want to take precautions before implementing the things that you hear. So buyer beware, informational purposes only. Now, to kick this off, I read a Wall Street Journal article several years ago. I wish I still had it. But basically, it did a survey of America's most affluent people. And based on this survey, it came up with the criteria for being wealthy. You want to be rich? You want to be wealthy? Do three things. Number one, finish high school. Number two, wait till you're married to have your first child. Number three, wait until you're 20 to have your first child. Of the people who did all three of these things, 1 in 12 were poor. Of the people who missed just one of these three things, 2 out of 3, or 66%, were poor. By the time they have been retired for 2 years, 78% of former NFL players are bankrupt or under financial stress. Within 5 years of retirement, an estimated 60% of former NBA players are broke. Anybody remember this guy? He used to play for the Memphis Grizzlies, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. $460 million in career earnings. Well, now he's broke. Here's a list of some of the bankrupt athletes. Just a small list of people who are either bankrupt or in financial distress, professional athletes. And America is in a retirement crisis. 30% of Americans, those of you who read my newsletter, 30% of Americans say they have no retirement savings at all. And conventional wisdom states that in order to retire comfortably, you really need 10 to 15 times pay in savings. What that means is if you make $100,000 a year in salary, you need roughly $1.5 million in savings to be comfortable in retirement. And it used to not be that way. What happens is pensions have been replaced by 401ks. See, it used to be back in the 60s and 70s, if you worked a job for 30 years, you had a pension when you retired at 65, which meant that a good portion of your salary and your benefits were available to you upon retirement. So you didn't have to worry about it. That all changed in the late 70s, early 80s with the 401k because pensions were no longer feasible. People started outliving their retirement and the burden was placed on the individual to build their own plan. The problem with 401ks is they're confusing. A lot of the mutual fund choices within 401k plans stink, and the fees are outlandishly high. In fact, Robert Hilton Smith wrote a paper on this. He's a young economist, and he found that when you look at fees, the average American household will pay somewhere around $155,000 in fees over the lifetime of their 401k. It's a system that needs to be reformed.